So hey guys, today I'm the wood doctor. Look at the shelf that I made earlier, and so we're gonna stain those. So those honeycomb shelves, I have like the cuts that were like left. So those are the spare woods, and so for me to actually find out which stain works best, so I found out that the early American stain right here that you can get from Home Depot, it dries in 1 hour. So there's another version that doesn't dry in 1 hour. It's a little bit cheaper, about $2 cheaper. But before that, I recommend applying the pre-stain. It's a wood conditioner, and as you can see on the image, there's unconditioned and conditioned. So if you don't apply the wood conditioner, it's gonna look spotty and it has like black color like this, just to show you. And if you apply the conditioner, it's gonna look way more even, so it prevents blotchiness. It works under any oil-based stain. It seals softwood for even color. So this one is the original wood, like cedar wood. No, this is the pine wood. Sorry. So pine wood is like this. So if you like this color, you can put it like this, but it's not protected. So for any water or something, if you want to use outside, but if you use indoor, that's okay to use like this. There's also natural color if you want to have a little bit more like kind of this color, the original color wood. And so before that, I want to show you the non-conditioner. So this one, it looks darker. You see how it's blotchy, a little bit darker on this side right here, and this is a little bit more white. And I use like a cloth like this to wipe the stain. You can also use a brush like this to do it. Yeah, I think brush might you might have more even application of the stain. And this one is the early American color. This one is the golden oak color, so a little bit more natural, a little bit more golden, right? The thing is that you see on this side, this one is no conditioner. So if you don't apply any wood conditioner, it's gonna look like this. It looks kind of dark and pretty bad. And this has not been sanded, but it has been plain. That I bought from Home Depot. It was a 8 feet long wood board, and this is the remaining part of the shelves. When you cut it at an angle, 30-degree angle, so it's gonna look like this. This is conditioner, as you can see, very different. This a little bit darker, has blotchiness everywhere. It doesn't look good, and this one looks better. And so this one, no conditioner and conditioner, you can see there's also still a little bit blotchiness right here. Maybe I didn't wipe good enough with the cloth, so I probably might want to use a brush this time, or I'm gonna try to sand it down. But if you sand it down, you're not gonna see so much of these lines, and I like the wood lines right here, as you can see. And so what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna try to sand this down, right? And then after that, so sand this down. I have a sander right here. So depending on your sander, you can also buy a manual sander. You can sand by hand, but I'm gonna do 14 of these shelves, so it's gonna require a little bit more time, and this is faster. So I have this at home, so I bought just this at Walmart. It has 120 grits, so you need 120 grits to prepare the wood. Then you finish off by 180 grits, a little bit finer grain. So they look like this, right? And this, you can get it at Walmart about $3.60 something. It has 2 sheets in here, and you can fold it in 1/4. So if depending on your machine, your sanding machine, if it's a square or is by hand, you can fold it in third or in half. So you can also use it to sand by hand. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sand this by hand, no, by machine, and then after that we're gonna apply the pre-stained wood conditioner, and after that leave it for about 5 to 15 minutes, and we're gonna apply the early American. And so I have two of these right here. So I put it 2 cups right here. So this is early American. I was testing with the golden oak. Surprisingly, the golden oak looks darker, but after it dries up, this one looks whiter, and then this one looks darker. So and then I put the in a kimchi box right here. This is a chili paste for Korean. So this, I'm gonna put the wood conditioner right here. So I'm gonna need like some rags to wipe it evenly, and then let it dry, the wood conditioner, and then after that apply the stain on it. And this one was not with the wood conditioner. As you can see, it looks really bad. Look at this. It looks almost like mold on it. And okay, let's get started. So I'm gonna open up the sanding paper. As you can see, there's 4 of them, so 2 of each, 2 of 120 grits, and then that's to flatten surface to prepare, and then this one is to finish sanding before applying coats. And right here you can find out which one is finer. This looks like white. Someone has been sanding on it, but so it looks like this. So this one I suppose is the harder one, and this one is the finer one, you can tell. And I'm gonna fold it in quarter, so in 4, before I cut it, and then I'm gonna put it in the sanding machine. Okay, so I cut it in 4 now. Right now, let me show you how to install this on your sanding paper. So this is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 sheet size. So okay, as you can see, the paper is like this, right? But don't put like this, because we're gonna attach it on the top right here. That's where it clips on both sides, right here and right here. So you want to put it, instead of this side, you want to put it this side, right? So there's extra space right here, so it clips onto the sanding paper. So first step, you want to start on to, put the sheet under this lever, and it's gonna clip on like this. So push it right here, and then press this up, this lever up like this, and then it locks like this, and it's gonna grab the paper in place. And then next, what you want to do is you want to fold this, so it might not break it, but make sure it's flat and tight, so there's no loose right here, loose paper. Otherwise, when you be sanding, it's gonna tear off the paper, and it looks like this. And you want to repeat the same steps on the other side, but with the other lever. And with the other lever, you want to pull this up as well, like this, and then place this sanding sheet paper under this level right here. See, so it's flat right here and it's tight, and so I locked it here and here for the paper. And so this is the 120 grits sanding paper, so it's a little bit bigger in grain size than the 180. So 180, I'm gonna use it after this, and we're gonna cut it, and we're gonna start. So make sure you put a mask before you use this, and I'm gonna use it here. So extension cord right here, and then I'm gonna plug it to the sanding paper. So there's also a wireless sanding paper that you can buy. It has battery, so you can move freely. You don't have to go anywhere, with the cord. So what we're gonna do is, first is right here, you have to press this, and you can start sanding. You can see it's gonna start moving this. And if you know how to use sanding paper, so you can also use by hand. There's a sponge for sanding, so it's a hard sponge that has one side 120 grits, the other side 180. If it's faster, it's easier for you. So I'm gonna sand this. I'm just gonna stand like this and test. So how do you know when it's smooth? Just pass your hand on top of it and wipe off the dust, and you're gonna know if it's smooth or not. Okay, so we're gonna stop it. I'm gonna try it just on one side like this, because what we're gonna do also here, because I'm gonna apply some stain here too. Okay, so look at the paper right here. You can sand for a bunch of wood with this paper. I'm gonna sand on both sides. So it should be fast if you have a sanding machine like this. And we're gonna wipe off the dust. We're gonna switch to a smaller grain. So small 180 grits paper, and then sand it again, and then wipe it off. We're gonna apply the wood conditioner, and then wait about 10 minutes before we can apply the stain. So I already cut in 4 the 180 grits paper. We're gonna put it on here. Alright, I already replaced with 180 grits, so it's different. So this one is finer, so we're gonna sand this after the 140 grits sanding paper, so to make it smoother, and it's gonna allow us to actually apply any stain, and the pores gonna open up, and it's gonna soak in the conditioner pretty well. And let's do this with a 180 grits paper. So sand it a little bit. We're gonna sand on the sides now. I like to use on the top right here. With a sanding machine, it's faster and easier. I mean, the most it takes time is to replace this paper, but I want to suggest is you guys go through with 120 grits paper, sand everything down, and then come back and then change this ones to 180 grits, and then after that you can sand, and then you're done. And I'm gonna wipe off the dust so it won't clog, it won't stay once we apply the conditioner right here. Hopefully it's gonna open. Okay, and then just work your way around the lid right here, kind of gesture motion, and then okay, so it's open now, and we're gonna scoop it. We're gonna take this. That's my chili paste box, and I recognize it as my wood conditioner right here. I'm gonna mix it a little bit so everything is uniform in here. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna make I can just, you know, put this in with the brush directly. I prefer to use a different container to, you know, in case I don't apply some dust in it, it's gonna mix with the original container, so it's okay. So it's good for this testing. I'm gonna put the lid back on this. Okay, just put the lid, don't need to press, so we can open it later. And I'm gonna probably use a brush, because I feel like the brush applies the, you know, you can brush out and it's gonna apply the conditioner pretty evenly on the wood. Right, so I got some brush right here that I used before. So make sure with brush you have to rinse it after you're done using, so it doesn't, you know, harden, and then you would have to like use some kind of gas in order to gasoline in order to soak it and then make it soft again like this. And what I'm gonna do is gonna, you know, dip it here a little bit like this, and then apply kind of like you know, take out the water a little bit, and I'm gonna brush like this on the wood surface right here that I just sanded. I'm gonna do on the side a little bit too. The other side I'm not gonna do it because this needs to dry first before you can do the other side. So as you can see, there's a lot of water, but this wood is already plain, so that means it went through like you know, a planer, and then it's making the surface level and smooth. But sometimes the planer has like some cuts and uneven surfaces, so you would have to sand it down in order to have like a pretty even surface. And I wanted to test, you know, if you sand and then use the wood that is plain already, if it's, you know, getting better color because of the absorption of the wood or not. Otherwise I don't have to sand it, so just leave this for you know, 5 to 15 minutes, and then after that we'll come back and do the staining. So okay guys, it's been 10 minutes now that the wood conditioner has been applied, and now we can begin applying the wood stain, the early American wood stain right here, the color early American. So I'm gonna use another brush for this, and this is the one I got from yesterday that I didn't finish, that is still liquid even though outside it's freezing. Recommended temperature is to keep the stain above 60 degree Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna apply a little bit right here. That, I'm putting it on here. It's dripping a little bit. Pressing on the side, and we're gonna work like the same as the grain, like this. So it looks dark at first, it looks like really dark chocolate, but don't worry, it's gonna be we're gonna wipe it off a little bit, and it's gonna be lighter. At first it looks dark like this, so I was like, wow, this color is so dark. It's like we're not gonna like it, but don't worry, it's gonna look a little bit more like this color right here once it's done drying, and then we finish applying. So we apply a lot here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wipe it off in a little bit. So I keep it in here, the brush, keep it in here. I'm gonna use a towel to wipe it off. So you can use an old t-shirt or a spare, you know, rag that you can just wipe it off after, you know, 1-2 minutes. Just oh, it's dripping everywhere. Okay, so might need to be careful next time, because I don't want this to be, so I wanted this color to be you know, American walnut, early American, and this one would be original, so it would look, you know, darker outside and then white from the inside. I'm gonna wipe a little bit. That's a lot of, with a brush I think it applies a lot of stain. What I'm gonna do is I wipe it off, and next time probably I'm gonna use a cloth to apply the stain. You can also use a cloth to, you know, apply the stain instead of using a brush. Which way works better for you? But I find this is like like it's dripping everywhere with a brush, so it might be better to use a cloth next time. Yeah, because you don't want to have like a thick layer, otherwise it's gonna look really dark. It's kind of like applying two coats. Nah, it looks really even when you sand it down. So I guess I'm gonna sand it, and then I'm gonna apply on the side too, because I want to apply on the side because the shelf's gonna look on the side, so the side will look, you know, dark, and inside will look natural like this color. Just the outside I'm gonna paint, and then just the trim right here. I think with a cloth, it's you can control the amount of stain that gets applied to the wood. It's better right here. You can see, just use like this. So I would have like a cloth just for the stain, and you know, you can use another cloth to wipe down the wood conditioner off, because you don't want it to have too much water on top of it, otherwise it won't go into the wood itself. Okay, like this. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna apply the other side just to see how it looks like. Yeah, so I'm gonna use this rag right here. Apply a little bit of this. I'm gonna use the rag to finish it off like this, to spread it just like a, you know, a toast when you spread it. And I find that if you sand it down, the color looks amazing. I mean, it looks pretty even if you sand it down. Everything looks even, you know, because you can still see the lines on the wood right here, which I like. I'm gonna put a little bit more here. Yeah, just like when you spread you know, slice of butter or like Nutella, your favorite chocolate, on a bread or something. It's like the same skill. But this is, be careful, like you know, it's a little bit messy everywhere because of the wood. I mean, the stain right here that goes everywhere. So I protect this table with you know, a wrap of, oh, okay, so a wrap of plastic layers to avoid cleaning and messing everything up. Oh, it looks amazing. Looks really nice, actually. I like it. So I'm gonna sand it for sure. Look at that. That looks like really expensive wood now with the pine wood. Oh, let me see. A little bit here. Make sure to apply a thin layer if you don't want it to be too dark. Yeah. So here a little bit dark, so I'm gonna wipe off the excess here. Amazing. Oh, I like this. It looks so even. Just like a look at the right here. Oh, a little bit of maybe the sanding, but that's okay. Amazing. On the side right here, looks pretty even. Cool. So that's the color we're gonna apply to this honeycomb shelf, hexagon shelf. Hexagon shelves look great. We're gonna test it with probably 3 first. I'm gonna lay it down on here, sand it with the first 120 grits, and then I'm gonna go 180 grits, and then after that wipe off the dust, apply the wood conditioner, wait for 10 minutes to dry, wipe off the excess of wood conditioner, and then put the stain with a cloth like this. I think the cloth make it even, but the thing is that I'm afraid that it cannot keep the layer inside because it drips everywhere. So with my hand right here, I'm afraid I tend to go like inside. It's gonna drip inside, so I'm gonna use a tape, a masking tape right here. I'm gonna mask the tape and put it on the edges inside, so to avoid the stain to go over. Okay, now before we sand, we're gonna mask the edges first, because you don't want like the stain to come over here, because we're not gonna stain everything. So we're gonna stain only the outside right here, and then also the trim, the sides. And so we have to put the tape to mask everything around, so there's no leaks, there's no drips of stain onto the inside right here. So alright guys, so I got this honeycomb shelf. I'm gonna sand the side, sand here. I already masked it earlier, so when I stain it, it's not gonna go and drip here, because I want to keep the inside to be natural, and then the outside to be like early American stain color. And so I'm gonna sand it with 120 and then 180 grits paper, and then put the wood conditioner, wait 10 minutes, wipe it off, and then put the stain with a cloth, and put the edge. And this, since it goes against the wall, so the dry wall, and we're not gonna stain it, so we're gonna save on time for that. So probably pretty quick. It takes a lot of time to mask this, and yeah, let's see how it looks like after this. So we're gonna start sanding on all sides of the hexagon shelves. So one by one, make sure to go around the screws here. If you have like nails, you can like fill it with fillers, wood fillers, and you can sand the wood fillers. So you have to go through all these. So luckily I don't have to paint every inside and outside. I only paint outside, and also just the trim, the front trim, not the back trim. I'm gonna leave the back trim against the wall. After you finish sanding, we need to blow out all the sanding dust out of all the shelves. As you can see here, I'm gonna use an air blower. That's for the leaves blower, and use it to blow all the sand, so that's quicker, and so we can go and stain it. Make sure you blow all the dust out, because otherwise the stain's gonna stick on the dust and not on the wood itself.